All right, so let's move on to the tongue. So it looks like it might give anywhere from about 5 controls. I definitely want more controls for the tongue. So I'm going to do some duplicating. I'm going to isolate the fit elements for the tongue along with the tongue. And we go into wireframe mode, go into the right view. And I'm going to come over here and duplicate the tongue a few times so I can get more controls. Okay, so that should be enough. And the first one is going to start back here. And if you watch any of the advanced skeleton videos, you'll get some good advice about how to position on the tongue. You really want a majority of the controls to be closer to the tip so you get the best articulation at the tip. Farther in the mouth, you don't need that much control, so you don't need to have them so close inside the mouth. But as you get towards the tip, you want them to be progressively closer. Let me try to follow an actual edge loop so that I get a nice clean fitting. Okay, so it looks like I am on that edge loop, and I might end up needing some more, but we'll see. Too many and you probably have a difficult time animating the tongue. These are FK controls, but I think you could use quick IK also to help you. Let me position the last one so that I know how to space the rest. I probably should have started here. And from the looks of things, I might be a little bit too high up as far as the edge loops are concerned. So I'm going to, go about there. Just gonna stop following the edge loops and actually just try to stay in the center of the tongue, because my edge loops are offsetting weirdly as I progress upward. So I'll just stay in the center. And I think that should be good. I might have gone a little overboard with how many I picked, but I think I'll be fine. This is not so bad. Let me move this closer to the tip so we get really fine control there. Yeah, this is about good distribution. Not bad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, most of these you will never even get to use them. Yeah, that far in the mouth. But I will probably sometimes pull this one out so I can articulate all these ones. Yeah, that should be about enough controls for the tongue. Okay, so now it's time for the pupil and more than likely the iris also in there. So with the way my eye is, I have to be very careful about how I deal with this. This is my outer transparent geometry, and this is the only mesh I'm going to need, but I do want to show you how my pupil actually works. And now that I think about it, this might cause an issue, because what I'm going to need to do is select the edge ring that represents the iris, right? But I also then have to select the edge ring that represents the pupil. And in this case, it's not just going to be one edge. I need these three to expand when I'm controlling the pupil. So if I was to select these edge loops like so, if I wanted to dilate my pupil, I'd be actually scaling these out like that, right? So I wonder if Advanced Skeleton is going to let me select multiple edge loops. I highly doubt it, but what I'm definite about, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a weighting thing. It's going to weight these points. So if I start trying to dilate my pupil and I'm unable to get the other edges around, I'll just weight paint these additional points to include them in whatever control the pupil is relying on, or the joint that the pupil is relying on. So I'll just set all these to a weight of 1. So let's get started. Let me just pick the edge loop. That's going to be my iris. No, sorry, my iris here. Okay. And for the pupil, I'm just going to rely on 1. And I should probably, I'll just pick the outermost one. All right. And then these other 2 will be added later, because I highly doubt. Let me actually try it and see what it's going to do. If I grab all these edges and I tell it that this is the pupil, well, it took all of them, so I think it should be fine. But if it's not, then I'll come back to this point and make the change. Definitely after all this fitting phase, I'll save the file. So if any of these are yielding incorrect results, I'll come back and change them. But from the looks of things, it's going to take those 3 points and allow me to dilate the pupil, so that this inside mesh here that represents the pupil will be exposed more. All right, if I hit 4, there it is. So the more you open that up, you expose this mesh that is the pupil. And I might have to increase its size just so I can get a lot more dilation, because here, if I use a control and I exceed a certain amount, I will no longer have enough pupil. So I might need to scale this up. I'll find a way to do that. Probably just unskin it, scale it, and skin it back to whatever joint it's skinned to. All right, so that's the iris and the pupil.